Welcome students on the online teaching video subject social science. Hope you are all well and in your high spirits. And today we are going to start the fourth video from the second chapter of geography, that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. Earlier we have studied about land and soil, about land use, what is land, about the land use, about the division of the lands, about soil, about how the conservation of the soil, about degradation of the soil, and so many soil profiles. And today we are going to study about water. It is one of the important natural resource, or we can say the vital natural resource. It is renewable. So water is a vital renewable natural resource. We can also say what is a renewable resource, natural resource. What is the meaning of renewable over here? Renewable means repeated. We can use repeatedly the one resource, but it does not run out because it is naturally replaced. It replaced naturally. So water covers about 75% the Earth's surface, but on this Earth's surface, therefore the Earth is called the water planet. Water ocean or water is saline and not fit for human consumption. So we can see that on the basis of the amount of water cover, all water, the whole part of the water is not suitable for the human consumption. Some are suitable for the human consumption is called the fresh water, is just about 2.7% of the total water. So fresh water is very scarce, it is very less. So we have to very much conscious about the wastage of the water in our day-to-day life. So we use a lot of water and for various purposes. Here is the heading for the uses of water. Life is impossible without water. Drinking and household needs we use for recreation, we use for industry and commerce, for agriculture and thermoelectricity, energy. So drinking and household, without drinking and without household purpose, right from the morning you can think you can imagine in your house how from the morning you need water at every moment. So drinking and household purposes, for the food, for bathroom, for domestic purposes, in each and every domestic purpose we need the water. For recreation purpose we need water because in the lakes and banks and river banks, in the ocean beaches, you can see the people accumulate over there to enjoy the natural beauty of the water over there. So tourism grows up and it also creates a lot of money for economy. It grows for the economy also. If you say about the water regarding the navigation, you can see it helps in the communication for the waterways, isn't it? It is used in the industry and commerce. Commerce is for the trade purpose in the waterways, and industry for industrial purpose there is always a need of water. In agriculture, without water there is no agriculture, and thermoelectricity is been produced, or the energy is produced through water. So the importance of water. All living things need water. It composes majority of the water body of the organisms. Many of the water bodies, there are the aquatic animals, water animals. That is also a part of the major part of the ecosystem over there. So it regulates the climate. Many water animals, what you say about the aquatic animals, you can say about the fishes and about the whales, the crocodiles, then any water microorganism, right from the microorganism to big animals, water animals, they are all aquatic and they help us to balance the ecosystem. Habitat for many organisms, it is the home place for many of the animals that we said just now, discussed about the water animals. It regulates the climate. Without water the land will become dry. If you take the example of the desert areas, arid areas, you will find that it is with unavailability of the water over there, rainfall over there is less than 25 centimeters, around 25 centimeter. There is no plants, no and vegetation over there, no development of the towns and cities, very scarcely populated. And if you look at the places like the heavy rainfall areas like Meghalaya and all, we can get the green evergreen forest over there. If you look at the Ganga plains, you will find that climate, due to the water, presence of water, the climate changes so much, and development of the population areas over there places. Shapes of the earth's surface, it regulates and degrades the waves. When there is a requirement for the degradation of the waves, there is always a need for water over there. Problems of availability, water availability, there is scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Most of them are Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, then parts of South America and entire Australia are facing shortages in fresh water supply. So these are the places there is a less availability of the water over there. Next we can say, because if just now we said, next slide, water shortage is a common problem in many parts of the world. It may be a consequence of the whole of the world. Just a mistake in spelling over here, can check it. Common problem in many parts of the world. It may be a consequence of variation in rain patterns or contamination of water resources. We can say, see, fresh water therefore is the most precious substance on the earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. The total volume always remains the constant. Its abundance only seems to be vary because it is in constant motion and cycling through the oceans, the air, the land, and back again through the processes of evaporation, precipitation and runoff. This whole process is called the water cycle. And for your information also, dripping tap, जो tap be using dripping tap waste about 1 to 00 liters of water in a year. So water shortage can be there if people continuously make a wastage of water or use it without in a proper way. Humans use huge amounts of water, not only for drinking and washing, but also in purpose of production also. Water for agriculture, just I said, for agriculture, for industries, for generating electricity through reservoirs of dams are the other usages. Increasing population, then rising demands of food and cash crops, and increasing the urbanization, rising standards of the living are also the major factors that lead to shortage in the supply of the fresh water, either due to drying up of the water sources or for water pollution, because we need steps to be taken for conserve water. See, water pollution takes place because of various purposes, like just now I have one slide over here. Water is renewable, but its overuse and pollution can make it unfit. I said about the renewable of the water, but overuse of it can make it unfit, and pollution also, like that sewage, then industrial waste, chemicals that is used by the farmers also in the fields, regarding the chemical factories also. This waste, they pollute the water with nitrates, metals and pesticides. So water gets polluted. If we do a proper treatment of water, in time, it may cause a water availability in amount for the people's purposes. See, access to clean and adequate water sources is a major problem facing the world today, not only for our country. Steps to be taken to conserve these resources. Even though water is a renewable resource, It's overuse, just like I said, and pollution make it unfit for use. Discharge of the untreated or the treated of sewage, agriculture, chemicals, industrial effluents in water bodies are all contaminants. They pollute with water with nitrates, metals and pesticides. Here is a picture. You can see the people are making the dams, and these are the making of the thermoelectricity areas also. People have made the dams. They are used for various purposes to avoid the water. That is we are using the water conservation in these purposes. These are used like this in the fields also. This is another picture. You can see how the dams are built. They are so beautiful, and this can be cleaned and kept for various purposes. Here is the industries that is seen in the long way. You can see, and the waters are used making the dams for the purposes. Now, conservation of water. Most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable and reach human bodies through water. Water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them in water bodies. So, it can be treated first and then it can be released to the water. So, conservation of water. Forest and other vegetation cover slow the surface runoff and replenishes the underground water. If we cover the areas with a natural vegetation and forest, it controls the conservation of the water also. Water harvesting is a method through which save the water surface runoffs. Canals are used for irrigating the field that is properly lined to minimize. Just now I show the canals over here. So water harvesting, that is water harvesting. Let us read about the water harvesting over here. Conservation of resources. Water resources. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the areas by checking water losses through seepage and evaporation. In dry regions with the high rates of evaporation, drip and trickle irrigation is also very useful. The valuable water resources can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of conservation. Here is a water sprinkler. This is the method by which the water conservation of water resources is done. Now, rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is the process of collecting rainwater from rooftops and directing it to an appropriate location where it is stored for future use. On an average, one spell of rain for 2 hours is to save 8,000 liters of water. Let us take a picture over here for rainwater harvesting. See, it is the rooftop over here. Rainwater, it is stored in the tank. Beautiful picture. So, problems of water availability. Just now I said earlier also that there is a scarcity of water in most places and how they should be filled up, covered up. And we come to a conclusion. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. So what we have to do, we have to conserve our water. Its volume remains always constant. Its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion, cycling through the oceans, the air, the land and back again through the process of evaporation, precipitation and runoff. This is what called the water cycle. And we have to conserve water. That is what is required in our day-to-day life. So thank you for this video. Next we will come up with the next video. It's a very interesting about the natural vegetations resources. Thank you.